So at Prospecting Today, I want to convey to people that I hear a lot that they're nervous that when they think prospecting, they're like, oh, that's cold calling. I want them to understand that prospecting is so much more than just cold calling.
Of course, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we would say to any agent, and we hope that there's thousands viewing what you're doing, because what you're doing is obviously very important for our industry. Watch past clients. They all have past clients, and if not, they're going to have them. Centers of influence, spheres of influence. Obviously, people like a for sale by owner who are trying to sell and compete with an agent. An expired listing, which means they had it listed and it didn't sell. Somebody needs to help them. Talking to the neighbors around a listing you take, talking to the neighbors about a sale that you make. There's dozens of ways that are very, what I call direct prospecting. Mm-hmm. And there's dozens that are non-confrontational. You get no rejection. So what we teach is if you can learn to work and learn what to say, and you can accept the fact that rejection is part of what we do, because rejection is part of what we do. And here's the best example. I can do a seminar with 1,000 people for 3 days. 20% of them are lifetime clients of Mike Ferry. That's fun. 20% would never do one thing I say. So let me show you how much I'm concerned about that. Not. Because they're never going to do it anyhow.
Right.
And then there's about 60% in the middle that are looking at all the different speakers and trainers and coaches trying to decide what to do. So you have to identify what you're trying to accomplish to identify what you have to do.
Yeah.
And if you can identify what you want to accomplish, then people like myself can hopefully help you do that if you want to.
Well, and I think you've really built a very successful empire on it's about prospecting. You have to prospect to be successful. So talk to me a little bit about your prospecting clinics.
Well, the prospecting clinics, we started actually 25 years ago by mistake. In Newport.
By mistake.
Yeah,
I like that.
Well, it was in Newport Beach, California. We had our headquarters, which is where I lived. And we had agents that would call me and say, nobody in my office prospects. I'd say, yeah, that's normal. You know, there's 100 agents and 2 know how to work. And those 2 do most of the business, which is a typical real estate company. So I said to a bunch of them one time, well, you know what? I'll do this. On Saturday, we have 40 salespeople in my company. We have 40 sales booths. On Saturday, we're not working. If you want to come and use my space, a bunch of you get together and prospect. And that's how it started. And for probably about 3 years, we'd open up the office every Saturday morning and 10, 12, 20, 30, 50 people would come in, put their headsets on, bring their leads, and prospect out of our office. Then it started wearing out my carpeting and running up my phone bills and my coffee bills. And finally I said, you know what, I'm going to charge you for this. So I started charging a small fee. Well, today, we do 6 to 7 2-day prospecting clinics per month here in our Las Vegas headquarters.
Oh, wow.
We have 40 people come in and we charge a fee, and they are thrilled to pay it because they spend 8 hours a day for 2 days being coached and trained and prospecting. And the average agent set 7 appointments in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
The average agent that you and I would know on the street probably hasn't had 7 appointments this year, and we're in August, okay? So it's become a big deal for us, and it's a big deal for our clients. We have people that come every month. We'll set 7 to 10 to 12 appointments, go on them all month, come back the next month, send 7 to 12 more appointments, come back every month and do it again. So our prospecting clinic becomes their lead generation clinic.
That's so interesting to me that you say that. So what you're basically telling me is they won't do that in their own hometown. They won't set themselves up to work like that hard as they work when they come in and do your prospecting clinic.
Because they're in an environment that is prospecting oriented.
Do you think that there's a takeaway? Do you think they go back to wherever they came from and create that same kind of environment so they can continue the same kind of a success?
We hope so. But see, so often, and please, all of you, accept what I'm going to say as not being negative. Mm-hmm. A real estate office is designed for people to prospect, but if leadership doesn't coax them and create the environment, they don't do it.
Gotcha.
So many times one of our agents will be the only person in the office prospecting every day from, say, 8 to noon. Mm-hmm. And then because they're the only one, they get criticized, they get condemned, they get complained about. And after a while, they go, it's not worth it. So then they go home and prospect. But, you know, because it's easier because to put up with all the negativity, which is common. So we create an environment that is exciting and fun, and you got 40 people okay, coming in for 2 days. We, at 7:30, do a 15-minute pump them up meeting. We do another one at 10:30. We do one right after lunch. We do one at 2:30. Then at 4:30, we have a wrap-up meeting for the day. The group that was just in, there were 35 of them, set 137 qualified listing appointments in 2 days.
That's awesome.
And they come from all over the country.
So you're telling me they're in brokerages or they're in working environments that are negative towards prospecting?
Well, they've been negative towards Mike Ferry for 45 years, which the foundation of my business is prospecting.
Wow.
And I wish I could say I understood the psychology behind it, but I can't. But I also understand that handful of wonderful brokers that I hope your clients work for, that promote working, would understand that you can't succeed without talking to people. So, okay, now picture, Kim. I'm a real estate broker, and I say to you as a new licensee who's never sold anything in their life, you're going to have to get on the phone and talk to people, by owners, spheres of influence, expired listings. And here's a script that you have to learn and read, which will give you the confidence to do it. And you call 10 people and they hang up the phone and they slam the phone, or you knock on doors and they say, don't ever call me back, don't come to my house. You get rejected and you don't have any experience in selling. Well, that rejection you take personally.
Right.
And you're maybe overcome with fear because of that experience, which is understandable. Well, the broker then says, how did it go? I hated it. I got rejected. I don't want to ever do it again. Now the broker has a choice. Train and coax, help you learn how to deal with it, or go to the next one. And if he says, you have to do it, and you said, I want to, and you quit, now listen to this. Then the broker has to prospect and find a new agent.
Gotcha.
See, if leadership is not going to do what has to be done to get an agent to produce, how can they expect the agents to produce? Which is why I'm considered controversial. Because I will say those things publicly, but of course, at age 74, who cares? You know, there has to be a point
proof
where
is in the pudding.
Yeah, well, there has to be a point where we have to face the reality.
If you like this interview you're watching and you want to see more like this one, make sure you hit the subscribe button for the Prospecting Today YouTube channel.